Vandeham Shri Guru Juta Padakamalam Shri Gurum
Hare Krishna, everyone. Welcome back to the 41st episode of Pariprashna. So, we have been going through this journey of a spiritual dialogue between two exalted souls. You know already, right, who they are? So, that is Vidura Mahatma and Maitreya Rishi. In fact, this holy dialogue started from the fifth chapter of Canto 3 of Srimad Bhagavatam. So, how Vidura Mahatma questioned Maitreya Rishi about the origin of the universe, about the role of the Supreme Lord in this creation, and in a way of answering that, we saw that Maitreya Rishi started talking about the Purushavasaras. He talked about Mahavishnu, how so many universes are coming out. But even before that, he talked about how he created, that is Mahavishnu, Karanodakshai Vishnu, created 23 material elements. And he also created the controlling deities. But however, nothing was happening. And then, upon the prayers of demigods who meditated on the beautiful lotus feet of the Lord, then, in the previous chapters, we saw how the Lord also entered into each and every element of the Lord, got them activated, and the whole Virat Purusha was talked about, how the universal form of the magnificent universal form was created. And then, in the previous chapter, we saw that Vidura Mahatma again asked a series of questions. So, that is where we had stopped. And now, in the following chapters, that is chapters 8 and 9, which we intend to discuss today, chapter 8 is titled The Manifestation of Brahma from Vishnu, and chapter 9 is titled Brahma's Prayers for Creative Energy. So let us continue from where we left off. Today, Maitreya Rishi is going to answer Vidura Mahatma's questions. So without further ado, let's go ahead and inquire and learn and gain a lot of insights from His Holiness Bhakti Padma Saurav Pracharak Swami Maharaj. So Hare Krishna Maharaj, Dandavat Pranams, Jai Srila Prabhupada.
Krishna.
So Maharaj, this chapter, that is chapter number 8, in the very first shloka, we see a beautiful reciprocation between the speaker and the hearer. Not only is Vidura Mahatma glorifying Maitreya Rishi, but we see Maitreya is also glorifying Vidura back, saying that you come from such a glorious dynasty, so many Bhagavatas are there in your family and all that. We'll start from the second verse. Soham nrinam shulla sukhaya dukkham mahaggatanam viramaya tasya pravartaye bhagavatam puranam yad aha sakshat bhagavan rishibhyah. Let me now begin speaking on the Bhagavata Purana, which was directly spoken to the great sages by the personality of Godhead for the benefit of those who are entangled in extreme miseries for the sake of very little pleasure. So, Maharaj, I am in awe of this line, Kshulla Sukaya Dukkam Mahad. What a succinct, concise way of describing our endeavors in material life. Kshulla Sukaya, for meager amount of so-called pleasure, Dukkam Mahad. We are going through extreme miseries. So, is this Maharaj in answer to 3.5.2 in the fifth chapter, second verse, Vidura Mahatma asked this question, Sukaya karmani karoti loko natai sukam vanyad uparamam va vindeta bhuyastata eva dukkam yadatra yuktam bhagavan vadennaha. So there Vidura Mahatma had also asked, everyone in this world engages in fruitive activities to attain happiness, but one finds neither satiation nor the mitigation of distress. On the contrary, one is only aggravated by such activities. Please, therefore, give us directions on how one should live for real happiness. So, is Bhagavatam the answer for achieving real happiness?
Yes, this is not only just told by Vidura, Maitreya Samvad, but also this is understood in the very author of Bhagavatam itself, that is Vyasa.
Okay.
When Narada spoke to Vyasa to go in trance and see and write Bhagavatam, Vyasa went to trance. Bhakti Yogi Samyak Nityamale. Then he saw in this trance Krishna, along with Krishna, he saw Radharani and all the gopis, Vrindavan, entire thing he saw. Then he also saw Maya, which was hiding behind Krishna. Maya to the Pashrayam. Then what is this Maya doing? Maya ya sammohito jiva atmana drunatmam paropimanute. This Maya has convinced the jiva that you are the body. Even though you're transcendental, you think that you are the body. And because of this anartha, the primary anartha, all the series of miseries have started. One after the other, one after the other. Unlimited amount of miseries. Then Vyasa saw what is the thing which can actually mitigate those miseries. Then he saw anarthopashanam sakshat, bhakti yoga madokshade. It is only bhakti which can actually mitigate the miseries of the living entities. So when it comes to mitigation of miseries, bhakti is the only process. Then anarthopashanam sakshat bhakti yoga madokshade. To describe this bhakti by which a living entity can mitigate the miseries, Vyasa, what did he do? He wrote the Bhagavatam, Vidvans Chakre Bhagavata Samhita. It is only the Bhagavatam by which we can mitigate the miseries of material existence. But the mitigation of the miseries of material existence is only by Bhagavatam, but that is not the only purpose of Bhagavatam. That is a secondary result of Bhagavatam. That is why Dharma Projagaito Uttar Parvana Nirmatsaranam Stham Vidyam Vasamatharvastu Shivadam Tapatrivanmulanam SrimadBhagavate Mahamnakrite Kim Mahavarishwara Sadhyo Hridya Varadhyate. Binding Krishna by developing love for Krishna, that is the primary result of Bhagavatam. Tapatrivanmulam is a secondary result of Bhagavatam. So the secondary result of Bhagavatam has been described here. Because Vidura asked the first question in the 5th chapter, that is, what is the way one can mitigate the Sukhaya Karmani Karoti Loke? Everybody is working hard to become happy. But Natai Sukham, there is no question of any Sukha for them. Anyad Upara, there is no question of cessation of miseries. Vindeda Bhuyas Tavayeva Dukkham. So we want to know what is the way by which they can reduce the miseries, remove the miseries. Yadatra Yuktam Bhagavan Madem Naha. Hey Bhagavan, please tell me what the diction is. Mostly people are interested. If you say that Bhagavatam is Krishna Prema, then okay, that's later we'll talk about it. First time suffering then Bhagavat, the second results also had to be described. Then only people will get attracted to Bhagavatam.
Beautiful, Maharaj. Very nicely you delineated the primary result and the secondary result and all that. Very nice. So now in answering, in narrating Bhagavatam, so right in the beginning, Maitreya Rishi in this chapter is saying that he is not going to speak something of his own, whatever comes to him, but now he is talking about the parampara system. So here in the 3rd verse, he's saying, some time ago, being inquisitive to know, Sanat Kumara, the chief of the boy saints, accompanied by other great sages, inquired exactly like you about the truths regarding Vasudeva, the Supreme, from Lord Sankarsana, who is seated at the bottom of the universe. And then he says, so like this from Sankarsana to Sanat Kumara, then Sanat Kumara spoke to Sankyayana Muni, and Sankyayana Muni spoke to Parashara and Brihaspati, and upon the recommendation of Pulatsya Muni, then Parashara Muni spoke to Maitreya Rishi, and then Maitreya Rishi says that I am speaking that same Bhagavatam to you now, Vidura. So what is the significance of preserving and presenting Bhagavatam and other scriptures by being having the integrity to the parampara?
It is like how can you glow? How can a bulb glow without being connected to the source of electricity?
Wonderful.
Electricity may be produced somewhere else, but that comes to a big electrical transformer. From there, distribution network happens, and it comes to one society. From there, your society is a distribution network, and then that comes to your house in the meter, and that is distributed again to each room in a plug. Then you get electricity. It is very simple. We don't have to be very breaking our head regarding this thing. You connect to the source through many multiple levels of networks. Even it is seen in engineering, it is seen everywhere. Even if you apply for some permission in the government, you apply it and the junior clerk, and he takes his officer, and it goes up, and the highest officer, the collector, whoever maybe, he signs, and then he comes back. So now there's always you go anywhere, it's always a hierarchy is there. So in knowledge also, there is a hierarchy of getting that knowledge, so that things are intact and everybody is on the same page. Otherwise, it will be a chaos. Everybody speaks something of their own, and there will be chaos. So even to it's more than any uh, spiritual reason, a practical reason it is that you receive knowledge and then you speak it. Like you want to appoint somebody as a chemistry teacher, then just cannot appoint anybody. You see that this teacher has learned from some teacher, and that teacher should have learned from another teacher. And all the teachers, they are authorized by a university. That is why you ask, what is your graduation certificate? That is seen. First, that is the basic. Knowledge is later. How much knowledge you have, that is later. But are you having the authorization? That is the first thing which is seen.
Yes.
Sometimes people may have knowledge but not authorized, but still they're not accepted just because they have knowledge. So that is why Guru Parampara authorization is very much required. So Maitreya is referring to that Guru Parampara which he belongs to, Bhagavat Parampara. And there is another parampara which is coming from Sankarshana to four Kumaras to Sankhyayana and to Parashara, then to Pulastya, and then to Maitreya and Vyasa together. They learned from them. So this Maitreya is just saying that whatever I'm speaking is not of my own. Evam parampara prapta imrajarasya, and allegiance. Allegiance is always a prime criteria, even in political affairs or any other system or any other institution. So when you are talking about parampara, it's actually allegiance to that. That is the prime thing. If you're not aligning with the parampara, then how can you say that you're authorized? You may be knowing, you may be having knowledge, but authorization is very important. Like suppose somebody says, I'm very good civil engineer. I know a lot of things. I'm IIT civil engineer. I've done MTech. I've done PhD. But if you are not authorized by the government, then your sign signature for a plan, pass, or building is not approved. Okay, you have to be authorized for it. That's it.
Very nice, Maharaj. Maharaj, one more question related to this before we move forward. In purport to shloka number 3, where Maitreya Rishi said that Sankarshana spoke to Sanat Kumara, the very first line Prabhupada is writing, this is in clarification of the statement that the Lord spoke directly on the Srimad Bhagavatam. So, how is Sankarshana speaking to Sanat Kumara a testament to Lord speaking Bhagavatam directly?
Sankarshana is Lord himself.
Okay.
And also, Bhagavatam was spoken by Krishna to Brahma, Brahma to Narada, Narada to Vyasa, Vyasa to Madhva. This is one line of parampara. Other line of parampara is being spoken here.
Okay.
That is the Sanat Kumara parampara. That is also spoken here. So, Bhagavatam was spoken by Ananta to then to the four Kumaras.
Okay, good. So the next section, that is shlokas 10 to 14, Maitreya is describing the reawakening of the creation. So let's get into that now. Udaplutam vishwamidam tadasid yannidrayami litadranyamilayat ahindra talpe dishayana ekah Kritakshana Swatmaratau Nirihaha. At that time, when the three worlds were submerged in water, Garbhodakshai Vishnu was alone, lying on his bedstead, the great snake Ananta, and although he appeared to be in slumber, in his own internal potency, free from the action of the external energy, his eyes were not completely closed. And the next verse, 11th verse, I'll just read the translation. Just like the strength of fire within fuel wood, the Lord remained within the water of dissolution, submerging all the living entities in their subtle bodies. He lay in the self invigorated energy called Kala. So, Maharaj, when it is said here that Garbhodakshai Vishnu is lying in the water of dissolution, the pralayic water, so later in Bhagavatam, there is a description of how there are different types of dissolutions. There are four types of pralayas. So which pralaya, which water of dissolution is this, where Garbhodakshai Vishnu is lying down?
The dissolutions are of four kinds. That is Atyantiki, and there is Naimittika, and there is Nitya, and also one more dissolution which happens Kalpa, means at the end of the Brahma.
Okay.
So one dissolution which happens every day, every second, that is death. And there is Naimittika, the dissolution which happens at the change of Manvantara. And another dissolution happens at the end of the Brahma. Then ultimately death of Brahma. So the dissolution of the death of Brahma is done by Sankarshana.
Oh.
In the mouth of Sankarshana, fire comes, even Brahma, Lord Shiva, everybody is gone. No, nothing is there now. That is at the last day of Brahma, after 100 years, when Brahma dies. Now, here, specifically, what is being spoken is the day of Brahma starting. That means, last previously it was the day of Brahma, Kalpa. At the end of the day of Brahma. And again, next day, Brahma starts creating. The reason is Brahma is born every time from the navel, but it is not the first day of Brahma when he was born. 51st year, first day is going on now. That's we understood.
So every day he is taking birth? No, he's just going to sleep and waking up.
He's waking up, yeah.
Okay.
He appears from the navel.
Oh, wow. Okay. And then, so here it is said that all the living entities in their subtle bodies are submerged in Garbhodakshai Vishnu. So, what is the state of the living entities here? They don't have gross bodies, they are in their subtle bodies. So, they're not liberated, yet they are not active in their fruitive activity. So, what is the condition of the living entities in this state?
It is like deep sleep state. They have all the karma in them, but there is no way that they can vent out their karmas because you require the gross and the subtle bodies. Whereas the gross and the subtle bodies, they are now not existing. That's only the contaminated consciousness. So they are in a sleeping state. It is Shushupti, where there is no opportunity for them to exhibit their conditioned consciousness. So it is like a deep sleep state. That is the condition of the living entities. They are conditioned, but at the same time, we cannot express their conditioning because to express their conditioning, you require the senses. Otherwise, it's not possible. Yeah.
Okay. And then it is said the Lord lay down for 4,000 yuga cycles in his internal potency, and by his external energy, he appeared to be sleeping within the water. When the living entities were coming out for further development of their fruitive activities, actuated by the energy called Kala Shakti, he saw his transcendental body as bluish, and moving further, the subtle subject matter of creation on which the Lord's attention was fixed was agitated by the material mode of passion, and thus the subtle form of creation pierced through his abdomen. Piercing through the sum total form of the fruitive activity of the living entities took the shape of the bud of a lotus flower generated from the personality of Vishnu, and by his supreme will it illuminated everything like the sun and dried up the vast waters of devastation. Into that universal lotus flower, Lord Vishnu personally entered as the super soul, and when it was thus impregnated with all the modes of material nature, the personality of Vedic wisdom, whom we call the self born, was generated. So, please describe this a little bit more, Maharaj, for our own understanding how this self born, that is Brahma, generated.
So when the time came, Brahma's night is over. Now Brahma's morning is about to start. Then Vishnu, Garbhodaksha Vishnu, from his navel, a lotus flower came. And what is that lotus flower? Lotus flower is nothing but an accommodation for the living entities to exhibit their karma.
Okay.
So now lotus flower appeared, and from top of the lotus flower, Brahma appeared. So it is not that he was born on that day, it was the 51st year, first day of Brahma that is being described here. So Brahma appeared. Every day he forgets how to create. Because at night when you wake up, the same pastime happened, but it happens in a different way. So now, though the creation was in a very subtle form, in the sense of that lotus flower, but nothing can be activated without the Lord entering into each and every atom. So the Lord entered into each and every atom as Paramatma. Paramatma has got two features. One is Kala, other is the conscious Paramatma, who are the soul, as a soul for the universe, soul for every atom. So in both forms, Krishna entered. So when he entered, then Brahma appeared there. So what happened after that? Brahma's appearance is discussed further. See, all the jivas also entered along with the Kala. So the jivas brought their previous conditioning. Whatever the karma situation was there, they brought it. Like, for example, you have now you have pen drive now these days. You have a compact disc CD. The movie, everything is there inside, but it's not seen. So once you put it in the CD drive or put the pen drive, then it comes in the screen. So all the jivas, they were all in slumber, and now they require a gross body, subtle body, so that they exhibit their karmic tendencies, the pravrittis. So that's why that is the description which is going on here.
Okay. So let's go further into this about Brahma's search for the absolute truth. So 16th verse, Tasyam sachambo ruhakarnikayam avastito lokamapashyamanah parikraman vyomni vivritta netraschatvari levenu disham mukhani. Brahma, born out of the lotus flower, could not see the world, although he was situated in the world. He therefore circumambulated all of space, and while moving his eyes in all directions, he achieved four heads in terms of the four directions. Okay, now he has his four heads. Lord Brahma, situated in that lotus, could not perfectly understand the creation, the lotus, or himself. At the end of the millennium, the air of devastation began to move the water and the lotus in great circular waves. Okay, now the 18th verse. Ka esha yosav ahamabja prishta etat kuto vabjamananyadapsu asthyadastad iha kin अस्तिह्यदस्ताद् इह किञ्चनैतत् adishtitam yatra satanubhavyam. Lord Brahma, in his ignorance, contemplated, who am I that am situated on the top of this lotus? Wherefrom has it sprouted? There must be something downwards, and that from which this lotus has grown must be within the water. So Prabhupada writes a very nice purport, short purport. The subject matter of the speculations of Brahma in the beginning regarding the creation of the cosmic manifestation is still a subject matter for mental speculators. The most intelligent man is he who tries to find the cause of his personal existence and that of the whole cosmic creation, and thus tries to find the ultimate cause. If his attempt is properly executed with penances and perseverance, it is sure to be crowned with success. So, Maharaj, this is the very fundamental existential question. All of us at some point or the other have wondered, who am I? And we also sometimes tend to wonder, what is all this creation? Where is it coming from? The origin of the creation. So even Brahma, interestingly, his whole body is made of intelligence, but he also seems to be perplexed and he's also wondering. So what can you please tell about this?
Yeah, creation is very complex, and especially Brahma, in spite of he being the first living entity created, he doesn't know creation.
Mm.
So creation is only known by Krishna and nobody else, because Krishna is transcendental, and his activity is also transcendental.
Mm.
With Brahma himself cannot know what is creation, what to speak of other living entities.
Mm.
Hmm. But that did not make Brahma stop his inquiry where everything comes from.
Mm.
So, in spite of it is impossible to know the Supreme Lord and the creation, but still one should inquire who is God and who is the source of everything. Janmadhyasya.
Mhm.
Because that inquiry leads to purification.
Mhm.
The inquiry leads to some information about Supreme Lord, and that information, when you contemplate on it, then that gives purification. So, the inquiry is not to know the intention of knowing everything about God. We just cannot know everything about God. Even Brahma could not know.
Yes.
So, if Brahma could not know, how can I know? So that should not make me sleep. Okay, I cannot know anyhow, forget about it. No, you have to. You have to inquire. Who am I? I am sitting in the lotus. Where did I come from? Once, I don't know whether I'm in the same Pariprashna I told. You asked about the children program, then I told you, I asked the children to imagine you're sitting in a rocket and going up and up, inquire what all you see, what all you see. Oh, did you reach the top? Then after 20 minutes, somebody says, I reached the top there now. Just imagine you've broken that shell of the top thing, then you go up again.
Mhm.
So, so there's no way that you can reach the top of the universe. But that doesn't mean you should not inquire, because when you inquire, you come to know that you cannot know.
Mhm.
And that is understanding of the Supreme Lord.
Okay.
That purifies our consciousness.
Mhm.
So Brahma is also the same attempt. Where did he come from?
Mhm.
Nobody else is there except this lotus in the water. Who is there below? Below this thing. So he inquired. Thatu Brahma Jigyasa and Janmadhyasataha. You should inquire into Brahman. Inquire, or what should be the inquiry? Janmadhyasataha, from whom everything comes from everything, whom everything is maintained, and ultimately by whom everything enters into. GOD, God, generator, operator, and destroyer.
Brilliant. Okay. So now we see how Brahma is going about finding the source of his, who he is and the source of the creation. So in the 19th verse, I'll just read the translation. Lord Brahma, thus contemplating, entered the water through the channel of the stem of the lotus, but in spite of entering the stem and going nearer to the navel of Vishnu, he could not trace out the root. Okay. O Vidura, while searching in that way about his existence, Brahma reached his ultimate time, which is the eternal wheel in the hand of Vishnu and which generates fear in the mind of the living entity like the fear of death. Thereafter, being unable to achieve the desired destination, he retired from such searching and came back again to the top of the lotus, thus controlling all objectives. He concentrated his mind on the Supreme Lord. So where did he get this impetus from? So first he tried, he was going down the lotus, he went almost close to the navel of the Vishnu, but he could not find. He again came back on the top, and now he's sitting down for meditation. So how did the Lord prompt him to get into samadhi meditation?
So what was the mistake of Brahma? In spite of he inquiring and trying to find out who is God, he tried to find out God by his own endeavors. That is the problem.
Mm.
By his own material endeavors. That is called ahankara, pride. Yeah, I will know.
Mm.
So it is not that you know, you can know. You can only desire to know.
Mm. Wow.
So how will you know? Only when the Lord reveals. And for that you have to please the Lord. That is the difference between the Vedic system of getting knowledge, that you study the scriptures, you serve the scriptures, serve the Guru. By service, you please your Guru, you please Supreme Lord, you please the scriptures reveal to you. That is a Nityam Bhagavat Sevaya. It is not Pataya, it is actually Sevaya. So by service, the knowledge is revealed. But the modern way of education is I use my intelligence and try to understand what it is. But the absolute truth cannot be understood by our material intelligence. That is why the Upanishads say, very important mantra, Nayam Atma Pravasena Labhyo Navedashana Bhunashutena Yam Evaish Vrunate Tena Labhya. So who can attain knowledge about Krishna, whom Krishna chooses? We cannot attain knowledge of Krishna by our own materialistic endeavors, by our own material strength. Atma Pravasena Labhya. Na Medasha, by our intelligence, not by intelligence, only by the Lord is attained only by those who is chosen by the Lord, whom the Lord chooses. Whom does he choose? Definitely a person who loves him. So it is by bhakti only the knowledge is revealed. So Brahma, first he tried his own by his own strength. So when he gave up his pride, then he thought in meditation to please the Lord. So then Krishna saw he has become humble and doing bhakti, then I will reveal the knowledge.
So you're saying meditation also takes endeavor, but that endeavor is to attract the mercy of the Lord. But the previous endeavor of him going through the stem of the lotus, going down and all that, that endeavor thinking that I will understand it with my own ability. So that is where we are going.
Yes.
Okay. Yes. Okay. At the end of Brahma's 100 years, when his meditation was complete, he developed the required knowledge, and as a result, he could see in his heart the Supreme within himself, whom he could not see before with the greatest endeavor. So, Maharaj, 100 years is like definitely not human years. So, what is this 100 years? How long? Because he lives 100 years.
It is neither Brahma's 100 years, it is not the human 100 years, it is the 100 years of the demigods.
Okay.
Yeah, it is not Brahma's 100 years.
Yeah.
It is just it is a demigods 100 years. It is not Brahma's. It is neither the humans.
So the relativity of time, different people's different timeline.
Yes.
Okay. So Prabhupada is also writing here, one has to wait for the mercy of the Lord before one can either render service unto him or know him as he is. So Maharaj, in this whole scope of things, when did Brahma get the vision of Krishna? When did he go to Goloka, the Brahma Samhita Rachana? When did that happen?
It happened this day of Brahma.
Okay.
That is not mentioned directly in the Bhagavatam, but you have to go to Brahma Samhita for it.
Okay.
That also has a similar situation. Similar description is there. Actually, more elaborate description is there in the Brahma Samhita. So Krishna, he played the flute, and that sound of the flute entered into the ears of Brahma, and Veda was revealed. Every day, the same pastime happens, but with different flavor. So sometimes it is described, the Lord came in the Garuda, and the Garuda, wings of Garuda, it flapped, and the sound of wings entered the sound of the wings of Garuda entered Brahma's ears, and Vedas was revealed. Sometimes described Narasimha, he roared, and then knowledge was received. It's all Kalpa Veda, means different kalpas, different days of Brahma, different ways. But mostly the pastime is similar, but it's the same. But it is not. It's all similar, but it's not the same.
Okay. So Brahma could see that on the water there was a gigantic lotus-like white bedstead, the body of Sheshanaga, on which the personality of Godhead was lying alone. The whole atmosphere was illuminated by the rays of the jewels bedecking the hood of Sheshanaga, and that illumination dissipated all the darkness of those regions. So now the final section of this chapter, very, very beautiful. So the beautiful darshan of Garbhodakshai Vishnu is described, very visual description. So 24th verse. The luster of the transcendental body of the Lord mocked the beauty of the coral mountain. The coral mountain is very beautifully dressed by the evening sky, but the yellow dress of the Lord mocked its beauty. There is gold on the summit of the mountain, but the Lord's helmet, bedecked with jewels, mocked it. The mountains, waterfalls, herbs, etc., with a panorama of flowers seemed like garlands, but the Lord's gigantic body and his hands and legs decorated with jewels, pearls, tulasi leaves, and flower garlands mocked the scene on the mountain. So I invite the audience to go through the whole section. With the interest of time, will not be able to read the entire section, but it's very, very beautiful. So Maharaj, if you can glorify the darshan of the Lord, especially the way it is described here, his body. First of all, Maharaj, because our universe, ours means, of course, the Lord's universe, but 4 billion miles wide. So Garbhodakshai Vishnu is lying entire 4 billion miles. His body is that huge.
When even the soul cannot be measured, then what to speak of the Supreme Lord?
Okay.
Sometimes the measurements are given just to give an idea that that's how huge it is.
Mhm.
So there's no question of trying to measure the body's length of the Lord.
Okay.
Of course, he had dimensions, but those dimensions are transcendental. They are not material. They are not on the material platform. They're transcendental dimensions.
Mhm.
So you just cannot say, okay, how big is the body of the Lord? It is impossible. It is beyond achintya kalu bhava. It is all transcendental and beyond our mental speculation. Krishna is beyond words and minds. Avangmaya gochara, avangmana gochara is beyond mind and words. But in spite of he being beyond mind and words, we contemplate on something which is beyond our mind. We describe which is beyond description for our purification.
Okay.
So just because the Lord cannot be measured, you don't stop in imagining his measurement. Just because the Lord cannot be described, that doesn't mean you stop describing about him. You describe him, still he is indescribable. The indescribable Lord can you describe him. The Lord who is unimaginable, you imagine about him. Is one who is beyond chintya, beyond our mind, but still you think of him. For what? For our purification. So that is why the scriptures, they give description of the Lord just to give an idea of his inconceivability. So the description is not to describe, but the description is to make you understand how he is beyond description. Contemplation on the Supreme Lord is you're asked to contemplate on him, think of him, imagine about his form, just to give you understanding is beyond imagination. That gives purification. Especially since you asked about the Lord's description. Among all the descriptions, the more focus is on how he's smiling at his devotees.
Yes.
Smiling face. That is very enchanting.
Yes.
Just by looking at the smiling face of Krishna, then what happens? All the miseries are destroyed. What is the misery of the devotee? Separation from him. And the fear that is the Lord pleased or not. So when the devotees see Krishna smiling, then they're very happy. So that's the main thing about the entire descriptions of the Garbhodaksha Vishnu.
So Maharaj, related to this later, when it is said that the Lord showed the sole of his feet, there Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur is writing, actually it is Krishna, because Krishna stands in the Tribhanga form. There the sole of the foot, 1 foot of Krishna can be seen. So am I understanding this correctly? So actually Lord Brahma not only saw Garbhodakshaya Vishnu, but also the Shyamasundara form of Krishna?
Yes.
Okay.
Because this is this day of Brahma being described. So what is that form of Brahma? What is that form which Brahma saw? He saw Gopinath. He saw Gopinath.
Okay.
So this day of Brahma, the Lord infused Brahma's heart with Kama Gayatri by playing his flute. And that's where Brahma Samhita comes in. Brahma saw the entire Goloka. So there the Tribhanga when he said, and that form of the deity is there in Jagannath Puri called Tota Gopinath.
Oh. Very fascinating. Okay. So, continuing forward, Maharaj, chapter number 9, where Lord Brahma is praying. What beautiful, beautiful prayers. So, in the first section, he is glorifying the Lord Supreme Form, and then in the next section, the predicament of the conditioned souls is very, very vividly described. It's very hard hitting, actually. So, overall, Maharaj, if you have to say about Lord Brahma's prayers, because when we say Brahma's prayers, we usually think of the Brahma Vimohana Leela, what he prayed after that. But here also, an entire chapter is dedicated for his prayers, him praying for creative energy.
Very important, Brahma's prayers, especially for those who are, okay, everybody's doing some activity in this world. So all those people who are doing different activities in this world, they should know that Brahma moved in creation. Brahma's moved in doing the karma, doing executing the responsibilities. So the most important part of Brahma's prayers is that Lord Brahma says, "Oh Lord, it is not me who can create, it is only you who can create. Please empower me to create. Mm. So I have appeared from you. Now it is up to you to give me the strength to create. Mm. All my mind, my senses now will take shelter of your form. Ultimately, to think that I am the creator is my ignorance. So you bring auspiciousness to this world. This form is going to benefit the entire world. Now you are shown to me. Therefore, I have only one desire to serve this form. So every karma, every activity should be done with a mood to serve the Lord. Mm. And ultimately, Lord Brahma, he talks about that whatever we find in this world, it is your energy. Since it is your energy, it should be used in your service. So if we don't use in your service, there is going to be suffering to the living entities. That is why vyarthapi dukkha nivaham vahati kriyartha. All the actions are we perform when it is offered to you in bhakti, then that karma gives bliss. When that is not offered to you, the same karma becomes the cause of bondage. So he just goes on with the entire chapter. You just cannot describe it in a few minutes. The prayers of Brahma are very surcharged with so many truths, philosophical points, which makes us humble. Basically, when you are doing karma, you should be humble. Like Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, that yoginaha karma kurvanti sangam tektva atma shuddhayet. The only purpose of the yogis or devotees doing karma is to purify themselves. Atma shuddhayet. It is not for accomplishment in becoming Prabhupada.
So, Maharaj, let's just focus on four verses. Like you said, very, very powerful, beautiful prayers. But just four verses 22, 23, 24, 25, where in the 22nd verse, I think you kind of touched upon this in your explanation. But Brahma is praying for empowerment. So, I'll just quote the verse here. Soyam samasta jagatam suhrideka atma satvena yanmridayate bhagavan bhagena tenaiva me drishamanusprushatadhyataham Srakshyami purvavad idam pranata priyosau. Let the Supreme Lord be merciful towards me. He is the one friend and soul of all living entities in the world, and he maintains all for their ultimate happiness by his six transcendental opulences. May he be merciful towards me so that I, as before, may be empowered with the introspection to create, for I am also one of the surrendered souls who are dear to the Lord. So now that he is very clear what is his assigned task, that is to create. And but before creating, of course, he's praying. And in that prayer also, he's specifically asking, My Lord, please empower me. He already has all the intelligence, he has the mercy of the Lord. Why is he specifically praying for empowerment, and what can we also learn from this?
Four verses, four desires are expressed by Brahma. Hmm. The first is I want wisdom, I want the knowledge uh, by which I can do execute your orders of creation. That is why he says, Srikshyami purvavat idam pranataha priyoso. So I pranataha priyoso because we are affectionate to those who are surrendered to you and are surrendered to you by my prayers.
Mm.
So you told me to create. How will I create? Without knowledge. Mm. Without knowledge, I cannot create. So give me that knowledge so that I can create. How I should create? Purvavat. Purvavat means as it has been done before by me. And though I have done it before many times, but I cannot do now. Because your anugraha is required, knowledge is required. So without that knowledge, how can I create? Give me, empower me that. So,
Okay. And in the next verse, 23rd verse, एष प्रपन्नवरदो रमयात्मशक्त्या यद्यत् करिष्यति गृहीतगुणावतारः तस्मिन् स्वविक्रमम् इदं सृजतोऽपि चेतो युञ्जीत कर्मशमलं च यथा विजह्याम्. The Supreme Lord, the personality of Godhead, is always the benefactor of the surrendered souls. His activities are always enacted through his internal potency, Rama, or the goddess of fortune. I pray only to engage in his service in the creation of the material world, and I pray that I not be materially affected by my works, for thus I may be able to give up the false prestige of being the creator. Wow, what a wonderful prayer. So here he's talking about false ego, not getting affected by it. So, how can we also work in a way that we don't have this I am the doer mentality?
very natural that when you do something in this world, you'll be affected by the mode of passion. Because sometimes the success gets into your head and then says, yes, yes, no, I am the person who did it.
Yeah.
So, how would Brahma prays that, oh Lord, I should know that I am doing it for the sake of doing because it's you who have told. And success and failure depends on you. And that can only happen when my mind is engrossed in your pastimes. So that is why he says, Tasmin swavikramam idam shajado vichetaha yunjita karma shamalam cha yatha vijahyam. So let my mind be engrossed in your pastimes. So even for the devotees of international Sri Krishna consciousness, when they are involved in the preaching work, especially construction temples, big festivals and some big programs, it's all actually creation. So we should make sure that the mind is engrossed in pastimes of Krishna. Otherwise, then that Rajoguna comes. Yes, I am the doer. Because of me, everything happened. So that's the problem.
Okay, very nice. The 24th was Maharaj. नाभिह्रदादिह सतोऽम्भसि यस्य पुंसो विज्ञानशक्तिरहमासमनन्तशक्तेः रूपं विचित्रम् इदमस्य विवृण्वतो मे मारीर्षिष्टनिगमस्य गिरां विसर्गः. The Lord's potencies are innumerable. As he lies down in the water of devastation, I am born as the total universal energy from the navel lake in which the lotus sprouts. I am now engaged in manifesting his diverse energies in the form of the cosmic manifestation. I therefore pray that in the course of my material activities, I may not be deviated from the vibration of the Vedic hymns. So here is specifically praying that he should not be deviated, he should not have any philosophical deviation as he executes his service. So could you please explain this prayer, Mara?
It's basically telling that I should not forget the Vedas. Because it is because of the knowledge of the Vedas I'm able to create. And you're going to give the knowledge of the Vedas. You're going to give Vedas to me so that I can create. So in the middle of creation, then if I forget Vedas, then God. So that is why I should not forget you, forget Vedic literatures because of the influence of Maya. So it is not that Maya will not affect me because I got knowledge.
Mhm.
First, he prayed for knowledge. Second, he prayed that I should always think of your pastimes. Third, he says, just because I have knowledge, I should not take it for granted that I will not fall down.
Mm.
Maya can affect me anytime.
Mm.
So let me be always humble, and so that I pray to you that even though you gave the knowledge, I can hold it only when your mercy is there.
Mm.
That is the reason he says, I should not forget the Veda.
Mm. Mm. The next in this series, 25th verse. सोऽसावभद्रकरुणो भगवान् विवृद्ध प्रेमस्मितेन नयनाम्बुरु बुरुहं विजृम्भन् उत्थाय विश्वविजयाय च नो विषादम् माध्व्या गिरापनयतात् पुरुषः पुराणः. The Lord who is supreme and is the oldest of all is unlimitedly merciful. I wish that he may smilingly bestow his benediction upon me by opening his lotus eyes. He can uplift the entire cosmic creation and remove our dejection by kindly speaking his directions. So, what is this last prayer, Maharaj, of this book?
Last prayer is you give your merciful glance onto me because when I am doing some work, naturally so many troubles are going to come.
Mm.
So, would you please show your merciful glance onto me, and so that I can have your darshan. When I have a darshan of your smiling face, then what is going to happen? I forget all the miseries. For example, a lady is working in the kitchen whole day, so much. Once the child comes with a smiling face, oh, she forgets all the troubles, what she's undergoing in the kitchen is hard and in the same way, so many troubles are there in serving Krishna, it's for sure.
Mhm.
So how the troubles, all the troubles which go away, hmm, by seeing the sweet smile of Krishna, by hearing the instructions of Krishna.
Mm.
That means let my mind be engrossed in looking at beautiful form and hearing the sweet instructions of here, so that what all obstacles come in the path of my creation, they all becomes nullified.
Mm. Mm. Very beautiful. So, final section, Maharaj, where the Lord is reciprocating to the prayers of Brahma. So, he is very much pleased, and the Lord speaks. So, Shri Bhagavanuvacha Maveda Garbhagastandrim Sarga Udyamamavah Tanmaya Paditam Hyagre Yanmam Prarthayate Bhavan. The Supreme Personality of Godhead then said, O Brahma, O depth of Vedic wisdom, be neither depressed nor anxious about the execution of creation. What you are begging from me has already been granted before. How reassuring, right in the beginning, the Lord is saying, don't be depressed, don't be anxious, whatever you're desiring has already been granted. And then he goes on to smile upon him and speak beautiful verses. So, if you could please enlighten us on the reciprocation of the Lord.
So Krishna says, the moment I gave order, along with that order, there is an empowerment.
Wow.
It is not that I give order and then you pray, then only empowerment is there. No, you should understand whenever a guru gives an instruction, Krishna gives instructions. So these instructions, along with the instruction, there is power to
Mm.
execute it. So you should have faith
Mm.
that whatever has been spoken can be executed by me.
Mhm.
If you think, how can I do that? Oh, it's not possible for me. Yes, it is not possible for you, but it is possible by the strength of the spiritual master,
Mm.
by the strength of Krishna. And the strength Krishna has given, his Guru gives through his instructions.
Mm.
So don't have to, you may feel humble that how can I do? I'm unqualified, but that should not be the reason for not executing also. Oh, I'm very humble. I cannot do. I'm a useless soul. how can I preach? Oh, Guru, please forgive me. I cannot do anything. I'm a useless person. Yeah, that should be our bhava.
Mm.
But that should not go to such an extent that you don't execute the orders.
Mm. Mm.
See, humility is one thing. The humility should bring you to the level of serving more.
Mm.
The humility is bringing you, making you reject the orders of the spiritual master and say, I'm not qualified, I'll not do.
Mm.
That means you don't have faith. in spiritual masters. Having faith in spiritual master Krishna means that whatever instructions they are given, along with there is empowerment too.
Very, very nice. Okay. So, Maharaj, the 38th verse where the Lord is speaking, O Brahma, the prayers that you have chanted, praising the glories of my transcendental activities, the penances you have undertaken to understand me, and your firm faith in me, all these are to be considered my costless mercy. So, Maharaj, everything is the Lord's costless mercy. The prayers he chanted is Lord's mercy. The penance he performed is Lord's mercy. The faith he had is also Lord's mercy. Then what is Brahma's credit here? And similarly, what is the Jiva's credit if everything is Lord's mercy?
Credit is crying for the mercy.
Oh, mhm. Excellent. Okay. So, Maharaj, now we are moving on to the Anushilanam section. So, we did the Vichara Mantana on the 4 prayers of Brahma, and now so, Maharaj, if you kindly permit me, I want to say something, Prabhupada's pastime related to the humility, if you're okay with that. It'll maybe take a minute or two. So, Maharaj, as I was going through these prayers, you always say about Mahima and Madhurima, right? Mahima is understanding the greatness of the Lord, which is the first 9 cantos of Srimad Bhagavatam. And then the 10th canto is the Madhurima, sweetness. So, in fact, when I was reading especially these chapters, I couldn't help but naturally feel humble to some extent because the greatness of Krishna's creation, the way it is being described, is really, really, really mind blowing. It is something else. So, in connection to this, in the Anushilanam, how to develop humility, so there was this pastime that I was hearing from Tamal Krishna Maharaj's memories of Prabhupada. So where he said, where he was serving as the president of Lasianika Boulevard ISKCON temple, Madhudvisha Prabhu was also there and he had said something to Prabhupada about him being more controlling that Tamal Krishna Maharaj. So in that context, what Prabhupada did was, he asked Tamal Krishna Maharaj that please bring the first canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, and he brought. And he said, take a look at the cover. So he saw the front cover, the back cover of Srimad Bhagavatam. So those of us who are familiar, we know the first canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. There is the Goloka Vrindavana picture, and then there is the material world and all these Vaikuntha planets, Trivikrama, Achyuta, Madhava, Padmanabha, all these. So Prabhupada, pointing to that cover page, told Tamal Krishna Maharaj that the spiritual world that you see here is 3/4, three pada of Krishna's creation. And this dark, dingy part that you see, the material creation, which is dark, filled with ignorance, this is only 1/4 of Krishna's creation. And in this 1/4 of creation, there is Mahavishnu, Karanodakshai Vishnu, who is one of the expansions of the Lord. Just from the pores of his body, unlimited universes of different sizes are coming. And one of the small sized universe where Chaturmukha Brahma is there, that is where we are. And there, from Garbhodakshai Vishnu's navel, there is this lotus flower that comes and it generates Brahma. And in that stem of the lotus flower, Prabhupada goes on to say there are 14 planetary systems. The 7th, the middle planetary system is Bhuloka, and that Bhuloka has Sapta Dvipas and Sapta Sagaras. And one of the smallest Dvipa, which is close to Meru Parvata, is Jambudvipa. That Jambudvipa is actually again segregated into 9 Varshas, and one of the Varshas is Bharata Varsha. And in that Bharata Varsha, there are 9 Kandas. Kanda or Kanda, Maharaj? Kanda, right? Kanda. So there are 9 Kandas, and in that out of those 9 Kandas, one of the Kanda is Bharata Kanda. And in that Bharata Kanda, there are 7 continents and 7 oceans. And in one of those continents called North America, there are 50 states. Of those 50 states, there is one state called California. In California, there are so many cities. One of the cities is Los Angeles. In Los Angeles, there are so many streets. One of the streets is La Cienega Boulevard. And on that La Cienega Boulevard, there are many buildings. And one of the building happened to be a church, which has now become a ISKCON temple. And in that ISKCON temple, there are so many devotees. And one of the devotee is Tamal Krishna, who is serving as a president, and he thinks he is very important. So Tamal Krishna Maharaj says, when Prabhupada spoke like that, his ego from there, it came here this much. It naturally made him humble. So as I was reading this chapter, I couldn't help but remember that pastime. I mean, it is naturally humbling. So it made sense. Now it is kind of sinking in when we understand how great Krishna is. Of course, we cannot fathom how great he is. But even that tiny glance, when we get all this creation, we can't help but become humble. So, is there anything else you want to add, Maharaj? In fact, last night after reading this chapter, when I was paying obeisances, naturally I was feeling a little bit more reverential towards Krishna because he's so great and I am nothing. So, if you can please say a little bit more about how we can develop this kind of humility. But you said there is fake humility, there is real humility. All our acharyas, they are so humble, but at the same time, they are so confident. Because not that confidence is coming because Krishna is great, he can accomplish anything through me. But humility is because the way Prabhupada explained, we are nothing compared to Krishna. So, this wonderful balance of humility paired with confidence, if you can say something about this, Maharaj.
Yeah, you did a very good zoom in.
Yes.
So, yeah, how to become humble is actually a question many people ask.
Mhm.
The only way you become humble is to know how about yourself, how horrible
Mm.
condition is mine. One Brahmachari asked me, Prabhuji, how to become humble? I told how many verses there in Bhagavatam.
Yeah. Yeah.
Then he told 18,000. I told how many you know?
Mm.
That's enough.
Mm.
How many you know? That's enough.
Mm.
So knowing the reality makes you humble. It
Mm.
is not that you're great and you are becoming humble. Actually, just by knowing who you are, you automatically
Yes.
become humble.
Correct.
Humility is very natural when
Yes.
you know the reality. Because the reality is that you're tucha.
Yes.
Problem is when you get intoxicated and get great, that is the problem.
Mm.
So reality is natural and that is humility.
Mm.
And unreal thing is that I am great, which you're not.
Mm.
If at all any greatness is that, that is also given by the Lord.
Mm.
So any success is actually awarded to.
Mm.
We are allowed to be successful, not that we are successful.
Mm.
If that is understanding is there, you become you be humble.
Yes.
You don't have to tell. It's an understanding. That's all.
Mm. Fantastic, Maharaj. So, Maharaj, when this Brahma he was meditating, he meditated for a really long time. So, even in our case, right, there is patience and faith both are needed. We have to be like very, very patient with Krishna. We don't know, mercy will come, but when it comes, we don't know. So, but we should also have the faith, it will come. So, as we are sometimes in Krishna consciousness, also, it is easy to get a little dejected. So, how do we have this patience along with faith?
It's called surrender.
Mm.
That means if you are successful,
Mhm.
Krishna wanted to be successful, so he became successful. If you are failure, Krishna wanted I should be failure.
Mm.
So in both cases, happiness and misery, success and failure,
Mhm.
you be Krishna conscious.
Mm.
Because there is nothing else, nothing to be achieved in this world other than pleasing Krishna.
Mm.
So it doesn't matter whether you're successful or you're
Mm.
a failure,
Mm.
because it's all Krishna.
Mhm. Mhm.
If you're a failure, who is a failure? Krishna is failure. You're doing something for Krishna, you know. It's
Mm.
not you are doing for yourself.
Mm.
If you're successful, you're doing for Krishna. So Krishna is successful. Let him decide whether he
Mm.
wants success or whether he wants failure.
Mm.
If he wants success, then he'll make you successful. If he wants failure, then he'll make you failure.
Mm.
So ultimately, nothing is to be achieved
Mm.
for our own. We're
Mm.
doing everything for Krishna.
Mm.
Success and failure is for Krishna. So that's
Mm.
called dependency.
Mm. So, Maharaj, while you were answering this, you said the only thing we are working for is to please Krishna. So, here also, Kunti Maharani's prayers, Krishna smiles. Here, Brahma's prayers, Krishna is smiling. So, how can we also act in a way that Krishna smiles at us? That is the ultimate success that we are looking for.
If you plan so many things, Krishna smiles. Plan.
Just by planning, not even
Yeah,
execute.
yeah. Because Krishna knows you plan so many things,
Uh-huh.
but ultimately what's going to happen is according to my plan.
Mm.
So Krishna sees us planning to do so many things for him.
Mm.
So Krishna is happy that you're planning. At the same time, he's also thinking, yeah, do your plan. Ultimately, your plan, success and failure depends on me. So just because we are surrendered, that doesn't mean we don't plan and try to put all our energies in executing our plans. We do everything. But the mood is that ultimately it is Krishna's. Janmashtami is coming. We are planning so many things. Do that, do this, do this. We have to do. That makes Krishna smile because he smiles because of two reasons. One, he's trying to do so many things for me. Oh, wonderful. At the same time, let him do. Let him do. Success is in my hands. Ultimately, what I'm going to plan won't happen. So let him plan. That purifies him. At the same time, ultimately, what Krishna plans, that is what was going to happen.
Wonderful. So very nice, Maharaj. I hope Krishna is also smiling at our humble effort to spread the message of Bhagavatam through this Pariprashna podcast. So final segment, Maharaj, is Brahmastra. So since I was so enamored by Brahmaji's prayers here, so I thought maybe I'll quote, Bhagavatam is filled with so many prayers, so maybe I'll just mention like a dozen different prayers. Anything that comes to your mind briefly in a sentence or two, if you can please glorify those prayers, bring out that unique feature or anything of your wish. So Maharaj, currently you're in Sweden, you'll be going to London. So you've been talking, giving series of lectures on Kunti Maharani's prayers. So let's begin from there. Kunti Maharani's prayers.
Very bold.
Yes.
Say, give me more miseries.
Oh my God. Yes.
Just imagine to go and tell
I
Krishna,
know.
what do you want? More miseries,
Wow.
more
That's
troubles.
guts. Yes.
Ah,
Oof, what guts. Yes. One of my favorite prayers that you describe, besides Kunti Maharani's prayers, is Rukmini Devi's prayers. Of course, I don't know if it's categorized as prayers because it's a love letter that she wrote. So if you can say something about that.
she is her commitment to Krishna. This body belongs to you, nobody else. Nobody can touch this.
Wow.
In spite of you not coming for Tajanma Visyat,
Mm.
hundreds of lifetimes, you only, it's committed. I have committed. I have accepted you as my pati.
Mm.
You accept it or not, that is your problem.
Uh,
You accepted me as your patni or not, that is your problem. But accepted. No, you can't stop
yes.
accepting as pati. That's commitment.
Mm. What about Bali Maharaja's prayers?
Full of sarcasm.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Huh. So Indra is very happy seeing Bali Maharaj bound.
Ah.
Bali Maharaj says, Krishna, you have cheated Indra.
Mm.
People are thinking you cheated me
Mm.
because you gave only one stupid post called Indra to him.
Mm.
But you have bound me. You have
Ah.
bound Indra with modes of nature. You have bound me with your ropes of love.
Wow. 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 Very nice. What about Bhishma Pitamaha's prayers?
Lying on the bed of arrows in Kurukshetra is thinking of Gopi's love for Krishna.
Oof. Mm. What about, you want to say something else, Maharaj?
None.
These are so fascinating the way you're describing. I just can't wait to get into all these prayers. They're so amazing. What about the king whose 99 was greater than Indra's 100? Prithu Maharaj's prayers.
Told is all the sacrifices are useless. Whether 99 or 100, 200 doesn't matter. I'm only interested in hearing the glories of yours with Karana Yutam.
Mm.
I want crores and crores of ears to hear the glories. That's all. That's all I want.
Mm.
And you say stop the sacrifice. I was never interested in these sacrifices first.
Yes.
I was only interested in hearing your pastimes.
Mm.
So anyhow, this also became one pastime. Let us hear about that.
Yes. Yes. Glorious. What about Gajendra's prayers?
full of humility.
Mm.
He says, Lord, I know pure devotees, they worship you without desire and you like them.
Mm.
But I am not like that.
Mm.
If you expect I should perform pure devotional service, it's not possible.
Mm.
So really, if you really expect that I should perform pure devotional service, first deliver me from this miserable condition. Then I'll think of doing pure devotional service for you.
Mm.
Very
Mm.
frank.
Mm. What about Prahlad Maharaj's prayers?
See,
Yeah.
prayers. He says that the whole intention behind Prahlad Maharaj's prayers is great humility.
Mm.
The humility what he expresses is tremendous because Lord appeared for him,
Mm.
but still he feels that I'm so unqualified
Mm.
for
Mm.
this. In his prayers, he says people try to live in the forest. I want to be in the cities to preach Krishna consciousness.
Mm. Mm. Nice. What about the devotee in demon's body, Vritrasura's glorious four prayers?
And they're again full of sarcasm.
Mm. Yeah. What about Dhruva Maharaj's prayers?
Dhruva Maharaj's prayers are straightforward prayers. There's nothing much complicated about this thing. And he says, "Oh Lord, I came to in search of broken pieces of glasses, and I found a diamond. So now I'm not going to give up this diamond. I'm not interested in any more broken pieces of glasses anymore."
Mm.
Very straightforward.
Mm. What about Indra's prayers after the Govardhana Leela?
Indra will never change. In spite of all his prayers and bhakti, he says, "Oh Lord, see, don't punish me by taking away my post. I'll
Mm.
only give a post to you. Don't snatch it and give it to somebody else. I'll give. It is your nature. If I give, you give back to me, isn't it?
Mm.
And don't think of punishment. You already punished me.
Mm.
Indra, I instructed some Martaka to pour rain. It was ineffective.
Mm.
And you made my orders ineffective. That itself is a big punishment.
Mm. What about Brahma's prayers, but not the one we discussed today, the one that comes in the 10th canto after the Brahma Vimohana Leela?
Yeah, he has four heads in the creator and it's too complicated.
Huh.
But at the same time, he is experiencing rasa,
Mm.
seeing the form of Krishna and understood that Krishna is sweeter.
Mm.
Sweetness is sweeter than his greatness.
Mm. Mm. Beautiful. The last one, Maharaj, what about Gopi's prayers?
Even Krishna is interested to hear,
Mm.
eager to hear.
Mm. How many types, Maharaj? I think 5, right? That you give in your classes related to the Gopis prayers? The Brahmara Gita, all the different Venu
Yeah,
Gita.
there are Viraha Gitas are 5.
Uh-huh.
Venu Gita,
Okay.
that is Pranaya Gita, then Gopi Gita, then Yugila Gita, and Brahmara Gita.
Mm-hmm.
And one more is there, that is Viraha Gita, when Akrura is taking Krishna. That is the 6th one. Not counted among the
Okay.
one because it's too much agony.
Oh.
Rupees. And of course, there are many Viraha Gitas also. There is an Mahishi Gita in the 10th canto at the end, where the queens of Dwaraka, they are expressing their separation from Krishna.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Fantastic, Maharaj. Thank you so much. In talking about the creation, so we're all in the stem of the lotus, right? Right now we are there. So you are sitting on the continent of Europe. I am sitting here in the continent of Asia, but through Zoom we are discussing Bhagavatam. So Lord is very merciful. I consider this as Krishna smiling. So thank you, Maharaj. Week after week, through your insightful explanations, not only you are helping us understand, but also you are giving that kind of inspiration for us to go deeper into this. So I'm really indebted to you. Thank you, Maharaj. Really appreciate it. So, Hare Krishna, dear devotees, hope you relished the discussion as much as we did speaking. So, we will catch you again in the next episode. That's going to be the 42nd episode. So, there, what we are going to see is how is Brahma now? He's prayed, he received the mercy of the Lord, the glance of the Lord, the darshan of the Lord, with all this empowerment and humility, how he is going to do the Visarga part of the creation, how he is going to split the whole thing into 14 planetary systems, and then how he is going to populate the whole universe. So all that and all that and more coming up in the next episode. So until then, please take care, and as always, stay inquisitive and stay Krishna conscious. We will see you soon. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna Maharaj. Dandavat pranams.